I caught my neighbor staring at my husband while I was serving dinner to both of them. And the worst part? She didn't even blink when I looked straight into her eyes. Hi, my name is Emily, and this story, it destroyed everything I once believed about love, trust, and friendship. If you've ever trusted someone too much, this story will hit you hard. So before we continue, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Because what happened next? No one could see coming. At first, she was just a helpful neighbor, sweet, single, always offering to help. She'd bring food when I was sick. She'd water our plants when we were away. I used to think I was lucky to have someone like her around, until I started noticing things. Strange things. She always texted. My husband first, even for things like garbage day or a lost package. Once I saw her touch his arm while laughing, a little longer than usual, but I didn't say anything. I didn't want to look like the jealous wife. I trusted my husband. I trusted her. But trust is a funny thing. It breaks quietly. One night, we invited her over for dinner. I had just made pasta, his favorite. We were all laughing, eating, and she was sitting across the table, staring at him, not me, him. I poured her wine, and she didn't even notice, because she was too busy watching the way he smiled at me. That's when something in my chest twisted. A sharp, heavy feeling I couldn't shake. I tried to ignore it. I really did. Until the next morning when I opened my husband's phone and saw her name at the top of his notifications, and the message, "I wish I met you before she did." I just stood there, frozen, staring at that message. "I wish I met you before she did." My fingers were shaking. I scrolled up. And what I saw next shattered me. They had been texting every single day for weeks, sometimes late at night, sometimes while I was in the same house, just one room away. It wasn't exactly flirting, no dirty talk, no obvious cheating, but the way she spoke to him, it was like she thought he belonged to her. "I know you don't feel fully loved. You deserve more attention. She doesn't even see how amazing you are." That she was me. I felt like my heart was being squeezed, but I didn't. Cry, not yet. Because part of me still wanted to believe he didn't reply. But he did. I saw his replies. Simple, short, but dangerous. He never stopped her. Never told her to back off. In fact, he said, "Please stop. You're making this harder." Harder? What? Exactly was getting hard. I couldn't breathe. I sat on the bed, the phone still in my hand. And that's when he walked into the room. "Hey, babe, looking for something?" I looked up, into the eyes of the man I thought I knew. My voice was calm, but my soul was on fire. "Is there something you want to tell me about her?" He froze. His eyes shifted. Just for a second, but I saw it. Guilt. I think you're reading too much into it. She's just a little attached to me. It's not my fault." "Not your fault?" I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, "Then why didn't you tell her to stop?" He didn't answer. He just looked down, like a guilty schoolboy who'd been caught cheating on an exam. That night, I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every memory I had. Her laughing in our kitchen, hugging me goodbye, borrowing my clothes. Was it all fake? The next morning, I decided to do something I never thought I'd do. I invited her over, alone. She arrived like always, smiling sweetly, holding a small box of cookies. "Hey, Em, everything okay?" "You sounded a little off." I smiled too. Fake. Forced. "Yeah, I just thought we should talk. Woman to woman." We sat in the living room. I poured her tea. And for a second, I wanted to believe maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But then, Her phone buzzed, and my heart stopped when I saw his name flash on her screen. Again, I didn't wait. "I saw your texts," I said flatly. She froze, just for a second. Then she tried to laugh it off. "Oh no, Emily. It's not what you think. I was just being supportive. He told me he was stressed. I was just trying to help." I leaned in closer. "You told him you wished you met him before I did." Silence. Her face changed. The fake smile slowly melted. And what I saw underneath? Arrogance. She didn't deny it. She just stared at me. Like I wasn't even worth an apology. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she finally said. "But maybe if you gave him what he needed, he wouldn't be so lonely." My breath caught in my throat. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. She wanted him. She thought she could steal my husband from under my nose. I stood up. My hands were cold, but my voice was steady. "You're not just a neighbor anymore. You're a threat. And you're not welcome in my house again." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You think banning me will fix things? Sweetheart, if your marriage was strong, I wouldn't even have a chance." That moment, it changed everything. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was furious. She left. I locked the door behind her. Then I sat down, stared at my husband's contact. And I knew. This marriage wasn't just mine to fix anymore. I had a decision to make. But before I could act, something happened that flipped the entire situation upside down. 2 days passed. We barely spoke. He avoided eye contact. I avoided crying, but deep inside something was building in me. Not just anger, but clarity. Then, on the 3rd day, I found the letter. Not a text, not an email. An actual handwritten letter, hidden under his drawer. It was addressed to her. I opened it, hands shaking, and what I read nearly made me drop to my knees. "I think I made a mistake marrying Emily. You understand me better. You're the only one who really listens. I wish things were different." He hadn't just let her flirt. He had fallen for her. Suddenly, everything made sense. The distant hugs, the fake smiles, the late nights at work. He didn't love me anymore. And worse, he loved her. But instead of crying, I smiled. Because now, I had proof. And I had a plan. That evening, I invited him to dinner. Dressed up, not for him, but for me. Confidence returned to my spine. I wasn't going to beg for love. Over dinner, I laid everything out. The texts, the late calls, the letter. He panicked. Tried to deny it at first. But when I placed the letter in front of him, he went quiet. "Emily, I never meant for this to happen." "But you let it happen," I said, calm and steady. He reached out. "I'm sorry. I don't want to lose you." And then I said the one thing that truly shocked him. "You already did." Then I got up, walked to the drawer, and placed the divorce papers in front of him. He went pale. "But we can fix this." I smiled. "You already fixed it with her, remember?" He was speechless. And that's when I told him something he didn't know. "I didn't want to say this before," I said, looking him dead in the eye. But I knew. Long before the letter. He frowned. "What do you mean?" I reached for my phone, opened a folder, and slid it across the table. There are cameras in the living room. Hidden ones. Audio, too. He grabbed the phone. His face drained of all color. There it was. Every flirtatious word. Every secret. Conversation they had when I wasn't home. Even the moment she hugged him a little too long, thinking no one was watching. "You recorded us?" he whispered, stunned. "No," I corrected him. "I protected myself. You recorded yourself." He stood up, pacing. "Emily, this could destroy everything. My job, my reputation." I leaned back, calm. Should have thought of that before, sneaking around with the woman next door. But how long have you known? I smiled. Let's just say, I made sure you destroyed yourself. That same night, I sent the footage to my lawyer. Next morning, he was served. He tried begging, crying. Even blamed her, said she manipulated him. But it was too late. He lost the house, half his money, and worst of all, he lost me. As for her, she thought he'd finally be free to be with her. But she got bored fast when she realized he was broken, and no longer a secret thrill. She moved out 3 weeks later, left him alone, just like he deserved. Now, I run my own business, bought a house 2 blocks away from the one they used to sneak around in. Sometimes I see him, alone, tired, aged by regret. He doesn't wave, neither do I, because now he knows. He didn't just lose his wife, he lost the only person who ever truly loved him. And me? I didn't just walk away. I rose higher and watched them both fall. If you were in Emily's place, would you expose everything like she did? Or just walk away silently? Tell us in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone today.